Kidding, I'm like 3 feet away from my camera right now.
Okay, so who's our versus then? We
Well,
need
we're
someone.
streaming right now, so.
Wait, are we?
Yeah. Well, I just hit the button.
You son of a...
I know.
You son of a scroll!
Yes. Well, I was trying to capture.
Okay, Sal, think about it quickly because welcome to the weekly poll! I'm not even recording. Hold on. Stop. Freeze. Welcome to the weekly poll!
Wow.
Hey.
I'm Benny of the Comic Storian. That is Sal of TV Little House. That is Rob of Marvel Explained. And that is Dave of his own room. This is the weekly poll. Dave, when you have videos, that come up consistently, I'll promote you. So
Yeah, whatever.
welcome everybody. Wow, this looks like crap. It tells me I should turn. How do I turn off Windows Arrow so I can record this better?
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
The problems are all on your end right now, bud.
Personalization.
Tech support, we are not.
Personalization, and then you should be able to change the theme from there.
Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta do theme.
Yep.
Hold on a second, Sal. This is giving you more time to think of a valid fight.
Yes. What would you guys think? We talked a little bit off camera about a couple of options. Thoughts, gentlemen?
Honestly.
I just blew my screen up. Yeah.
Booyah.
I mean, I don't. Okay. We got to do something interesting, but something relatively basic. Like we've got to stay pretty simple with it. So, while I do think that the
Holy
Star
crap,
Wars
everything's
universe,
black and scary.
well, well, I think the Star Wars universe versus the Marvel universe would be pretty fun. Like,
Yes, let's do it.
I don't know.
Look, this is on my channel, and I have to redo the intro again, so we're doing this.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
We could limit it. We could say that Star Wars was in Marvel. That way, it's like we don't have to worry about the Force or Vader.
No! Hold, I got this. All right, ready? Okay. Recording.
Yeah.
Start recording. Is it gonna record? Oh, stop preview. I'm previewing. I wasn't even recording anyway.
The wonders of live streaming.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Ready? Welcome to the weekly poll. I'm Batman.
Wow.
Welcome to the weekly poll pre-show. I'm Benny of Comic Story, and if you're watching this on my channel, then you know exactly who I am. That is Sal of TV Little House, one of the most amazing shows ever to give you the view of people who don't know what the stuff is. That is Rob of Marvel Explained. If you want true, actual, like non-Cliff Note versions of stuff, you gotta go check out Rob and Marvel Explained. And that is Dave of Comics Reviews. He tells you what you should be buying, what you shouldn't be buying, and how to buy some of these massive things, but he doesn't make videos. So, anyway, I couldn't give you a full free plug. Just couldn't do it. Just couldn't. So this week on the pre-show, we're bringing back the Versus series, and contrary to what Rob, our judge, wants, we are going to do Star Wars versus Marvel. To narrow that down, Luke and his team, which will consist of Luke, Han Solo, Leia, C-3PO, R2-D2, and I'm going to give you Boba Fett, Sal.
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
I would take Chewbacca the Wookiee over Boba.
Okay, fine. Chewbacca the Wookiee over Boba Fett versus the Guardians of the Galaxy.
There you go.
All right, that's today's verses. I'm going to start it off by stating we've got an interdimensional rift that explodes.
It's always an intervention.
And two spaceships crash land on Tatooine, the big desert planet that I won't pronounce.
Man.
Tatooine. They both crash land onto the planet. The Guardians walk out. Star-Lord whips out his tools, starts jamming out to some old school 80s music, and looks around, while on the flip side, on the opposite side, Luke and all of his friends walk out of their ship, and they go, "Boom." that was my lightsaber.
It's a pretty
seems
lame
about right,
lightsaber,
all right.
Benny.
And the two of them look at each other, and Gamora goes, "You must be working for Thanos. You crash landed us." And Luke looks back at them and says, "You must be working for the Emperor," because this takes place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Luke's at full power, but we still have a threat that they're all up against.
Okay, Empire. So it's like a Shadows of the Empire kind of
Yeah. So we're gonna go with that. We'll give you the power, but we need a reason for them to all be in conflict. I hit the mic.
Right, okay.
Okay, so the Guardians are currently fighting Thanos, and they crash land. You're gonna go fight the Emperor, and you crash land. No one has space travel. We're on a desert planet. There's no environmental to use. What are we gonna do, Sal? You go next.
Okay, well, who do I have? Do I have Star Wars or do I have Marvel?
Who do you want?
I guess I'll take Star Wars.
Okay.
I know more about it, I think. Which is hard to imagine, but yeah. All right, well... Okay.
I had so much momentum going. You just killed
I know,
it.
and then I was like, I'm very much good. I'm really good at that, at putting the brakes on any enthusiasm. All right. I'm gonna. Oh, I think that everyone would hang me if I didn't say Han shoots first.
There we go. That's the only thing I
And
really wanted to hear
that's
was that Han
perfect.
shot first.
Han Solo
So-
whips out his blaster, fires at the big tree-looking thing because he thinks that's the powerhouse of the.
Okay, all right. And in standard Chris Pratt version of Star-Lord fashion, he's like, whoa, 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 whoa! Yo, don't you know who I am?
Han Solo does not care. Fires again. This time at Chris Pratt here.
Not a
Star-Lord
single fuck is
hits
given
the-
by
hits
by
on his
Han Solo.
back, hits the jet boots because of whatever. He does it all the time in the comics, even if he's not using anywhere, and just rockets off, dodging the bullet, yelling, "I'm Star-Lord!" And Groot goes, "I am Groot," and starts whipping his vine arm towards the Jedi's and all them.
Okay, so well, Luke, I think, will use the Force to adeptly avoid Groot's vine attack, and uses his lightsaber to make quick work of Groot because he knows that Groot is a living being, but he also knows that Groot's a threat, and he's kind of a tree person, and Luke doesn't really seem to have any regard for trees, as evidenced by his experience on Dagobah. He makes. I think he'd cut Groot into ribbons with that lightsaber. I don't think there's any defense against
Okay,
a.
all right.
Against
So
a lightsaber.
Groot's arm's gone.
Oh yeah.
Rocket Raccoon looks at Groot and says, "Oh, stop crying. It'll grow back anyway."
It'll grow back, you big
And he
baby.
whips out the world's largest gun you've ever seen.
Yep.
And he just opens fire. He fires second, but he fired bigger.
Right. Okay. I think that. Let's say Luke uses the Force. I mean, this is going to be my response to everything. Luke uses the Force, and he creates a protective shield over the gang. Meanwhile, I think R2-D2 is going to make his way towards Rocket because I think that's the fair fight. I think R2 versus Rocket.
You're sticking Rocket Raccoon against a tin can trash can.
R2-D2 has more personality than most of the characters in the new Star Wars prequels.
I will agree with you there.
So I'll
I
give
have the high ground. Anyway, that's a side
I
story.
would
Yeah,
disagree.
no.
I would disagree with you guys on that one. But go ahead. I'm just the judge.
But R2 versus you don't think R2 versus Rocket is a good pairing?
It's not
no.
a fair fight.
I think
No.
not a
Rocket,
fair
because
fight.
Rocket's intelligent. So R2-D2 is
doesn't
going up
even
against
have any
Rocket.
weapons.
So Rocket very quickly starts blasting into R2-D2, jumps on top of him, and just starts ripping stuff out, saying, "You don't need this, you don't need this, you don't need this, I don't know what this is, and I'm going to
Fair
rebuild
enough.
you into something useful."
Yeah, I guess Rocket would repurpose R2 into something really interesting. That's too bad. All right, well, that's the end of R2. All right, well, then I'm going to have Leia fight Gamora. That's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then
You know what? No, I'm gonna have,
Those are really
Leia.
poor
Also-
fight to choose.
I mean, like, well, Leia's like
Like-
Leia knows how to fire a blaster. Like, she's really good with
Leia
with
Jitsu?
a blaster. She has latent force ability, so I guess she would also be able to, I think, maybe even predict some of Gamora's moves. That's
No. Rob,
No.
Gamora just goes in there and starts killing. What do you think's going to happen? You're the judge.
Gamora's. I mean, like
Princess Leia's
Leia.
gonna
is
die.
going
Leia can sense the Force, but she's no Luke Skywalker. And
No.
Gamora
Deadliest
is the
weapon
okay now. All right, now here's a question though. Are we talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, the film Gamora, or are we talking about
Film
Marvel
Gamora.
Comics? Okay, film Gamora. Then
Right, 'cause I'm
it'll probably be a fair fight because
Right? Because
like comics
they
Gamora
kind
would
of.
absolutely massacre
Oh,
Princess
yeah.
Leia.
Yeah.
But film
Oh,
Gamora is
she
just
would walk up to Leia and pretty much rip her arms off.
yeah.
Like,
She
Probably.
would-
That's
It
how
sounds
that
to
would
me
go.
like that's more of a Chewie thing. I think that. Well, all right.
All right, so then can we just say that Leia and Gamora are now disposed of each other? They're off. Fighting?
They're fighting, I guess. Yeah, because like they really depowered Gamora in the movie. So
Yeah.
Now, I think the only thing that we really need to pay attention here, what would most likely happen is that with Princess Leia and Gamora fighting, that as they fought, of course, they'd be stripping off different portions of their clothing and whatnot, and then like Chewbacca and the guys, and even
wait,
like
wait.
R2
And
would
secret-
stop.
Terrible, Rob.
No, hold
You're
on. I'm
terrible
going to
right
play
now.
that scene out for you because you know what?
No, don't play the
Okay,
scene out.
so Gamora and Leia are
No.
going at it, and Gamora tears off Leia's clothes, and underneath is slave Leia outfit. And then
Oh,
Leia
wow.
starts tearing off Gamora, who's conveniently also wearing a slave Leia outfit because they were actually on their way to a comic book convention in space. So anyway.
Okay, so going from there, of course.
So wait, they're both in the slave bikinis, which now distracts Han Solo.
Because Han has never actually seen her in the slave bikini outfit.
Right. So Han Solo is now distracted and disposed of as Star-Lord now comes back around, still blasting off, slams into Han Solo, removing him from the fight.
All right. Well, I still think I've still got it. I still have the last Jedi Knight in existence
And
up
Wookiee.
against. I've already cut down Groot. We've got Drax. All right.
Oh yeah, I have Drax. Drax and Wookiee. Let's go.
Yeah, I think. I think Chewie versus Drax would be a fight to the death. I think that Chewie. I got to give it to Chewie. I think Chewie would pull his arms out of his sockets and beat him to death with them.
Probably.
As much as I would want to say Drax would be able to take out Chewie, Chewie has no problems using multitude of weapons before Drax even gets
That's true.
to him.
That's true. Chewie would probably shoot him with his bowcaster, knock him onto the ground, and then just. I mean, like if you.
But Drax cannot be defeated. But I will admit to unconscious.
He can be slowed down, like the
Yes.
Juggernaut. You can slow him down, and I think that beating him mercilessly. I mean, like I imagine that a savage Wookiee in the heat of the fight would be not unlike a mountain gorilla, where it's just this hulking, heavy thing that just lays down blows upon its opponents. I mean, like a Wookiee is really at the core. It's an intelligent, sentient being that has mastery over technology, but it's also a savage, monstrous creature. I mean, look what it did to Lando in Cloud City when he heard that Han might not have survived the carbon freezing process. I mean, like, Chewie's a tough opponent. I think that Drax is going to lose out to
No,
Drax.
I think this is another situation of if I had comic books Drax,
Oh yeah,
I could have won. But having kind of dumbed down Drax in the movie, I think he would just keep walking towards him. Although he does that in the comic too, but he would just keep walking towards him.
You are a very furry creature.
Yes, you are very furry. What is in this hair?
You would make a
We're
good
on a
guess.
desert planet. I recommend you remove your hair.
I mean, this
That
guy
crossbow bolt really hurt.
This guy Lord K. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that last part. Said that Chewie would make a good fur coat.
Yes, Drax walks over to Chewie and he's like, you'd make a good fur coat. Come at me. And Chewie launches the bowcaster, blasts Drax in the chest, knocking him unconscious, disposing him from the fight.
Oh yeah.
Which leaves us with Star-Lord versus Luke.
Yes. Because
I automatically dispose of Han by making him stare at boobies.
I mean, that's exactly what would happen too.
Yeah, we took down Han already, so it really is just Luke and Chewie versus Star-Lord and Rocket.
Oh yeah, okay. I still have Rocket. Okay, so then quickly, Chewie and Rocket just go into a gunfight.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
No, it's definitely Rocket versus Chewie.
Don't you still have Han Solo just because he's distracted?
Well, he was knocked unconscious by somebody. I can't.
Right now, because Star-Lord blasted in as he was unconscious.
Okay.
Yeah.
We agreed that he would be distracted for a second, giving Star-Lord time to hit him.
Yeah.
So.
And Star-Lord has comparable weapons to Han, so I think that's fair.
Okay, so Star-Lord lands down, starts throwing off one-liner quips, like, oh, nifty flashlight, and stupid shit like that he probably would have said better if it was actually him.
Right.
And Luke Skywalker, now, are we going Boy Scout Go Lucky Luke Skywalker?
This is Empire Strikes Back Luke Skywalker. This is, you'll find I'm full of surprises Luke Skywalker. This is like...
No, we should do post episodes 4, 5, and 6 Luke Skywalker when he is possessed by Exar Kun and falls to the dark side Luke Skywalker.
Universe.
Let's not do
Come on.
Because Extended Universe has now been completely removed.
So I think that just at least choking Gamorrean guards in Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker. The kind of Luke Skywalker that's like, light, dark, whatever, as long as I can succeed, I'm fine. He's the guy who pulled a blaster on Jabba the Hutt. What a Jedi thing to do.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be a lot
horribly outmatched in this situation.
I'm sorry?
We're going to agree that I'm horribly outmatched in this situation right now?
No, I think
okay, so I have
charming and as roguish as Star-Lord is, I think Luke Skywalker has got it.
Okay, well, no, hold on. I have an ace up my sleeve because we're going to be Guardians, and the judge has to decide.
Well, it better be one hell of an ace, because...
I pull out the Infinity Stone.
What?
Oh,
No.
what?
No.
He
I
opened
mean,
What did Rocket make R2D2 into?
a trash
no,
can.
but Peter Quill did have the power gem.
Yep, that's it. I have the power gem now. I
Yeah.
whip that bitch out. What
Yeah.
now, Judge? What?
I don't know. Power Gem versus the Force. What do you say? I mean, like,
that's an
it's
that's
no
an, that's
Kyber
an even
crystal.
match because the Force doesn't give
The
you like
Nova,
reality
the
warping
Nova
powers,
Core has the power
No.
gem.
but
But
the
it's the
Force,
Power Gem.
yeah,
Well, yeah, we're gonna say it's right before, like this whole thing happened right before they gave the power gem to the Nova Corps, but I still
Right.
So.
Naturally.
I'd say okay. Just for the sake of argument, because at this point it comes down to like hair splitting. So I'd say we'll just call it an even match and say the Force and the power gem are even in terms of what they can do.
So then
Yeah.
the power gem just warps reality and reverses time to before all this happened.
No, power gem can't do that. Power gem just
Yeah,
makes you
yeah.
like super strong.
Oh well, then no, I'm not accepting that. I go in with the power gem and just start laying waste to Luke.
Well,
I
then
think that no
the
matter-
judge will rebuke your argument and say that Luke Skywalker wins. So
I think Luke is going to lop off the hand that holds the Power Gem.
I think Rocket made a giant magnet out of R2D2 and he sucks Luke's lightsaber away from him.
Dave is on my side.
Okay. Okay.
And then Star-Lord blasts the heck out of Luke and he tries to deflect it with the Force, but it's just too much and one of the blasts gets through and stuns Luke and that allows Star-Lord to go in for the final blow.
Which
that knocks Luke out.
Since he's Star-Lord, he doesn't kill him; he just knocks him out. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. That makes
Okay,
sense.
I'm accepting Dave on my team. Do you accept our submission for a finale?
I think that is sufficient. All right. I mean, like Leia, she's still around, but whatever. All right. Yeah. All right. I'll admit.
Leia and Gamora are still off fighting without any clothes on.
And so, okay, so then now that the fight has been resolved, they all sit down, pop open a beer, and just watch Gamora and Leia fight it out in same outfits.
And watch Flashdance at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
All right, we agree on the ending of this.
Awesome.
Yeah, Rocket repairs R2D2,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
what
Groot
Groot is
makes a
little better.
growing
Just a
back
couple
as a
adjustments.
baby
Drax
again.
wakes up, is just like, what's going on? I enjoy this brew.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then, I guess we've wrapped up this one a lot quicker than expected. But thank you guys if you joined us for this week's Versus. We are doing this on a every other week cycle now because the opposite week is going to be a debate for TV Little House.
Yep.
So your week this week was Star Wars versus Guardians of the Galaxy, to which we agreed with a little help from Dave, even though he doesn't have a channel. No. With a little help from Dave and the Comics Review channel. He helped me win this one. So thank you, Dave. And make sure you go check out Sal over at TV Little House. They do great videos every Thursday and stuff sporadically throughout the week. Rob puts out videos whenever Rob feels like making them, which is like 8 times a week.
No.
And then he takes a break.
Take a break.
And Dave, one day we'll make a third video. But make sure you go over to his channel, give him a subscription. But if you are watching this post afterwards on my channel, make sure you go check out Marvel Explained to see the full podcast. What are we talking about today, Rob?
We're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, finally. Thank God. It's been 2 weeks.
And
I've been
other
dying to talk
tangents.
about this.
And Turtles.
Other tangents.
And Ninja Turtles, apparently. And the Inhumans film that is rumored to supposed to be happening. So
Wait. And we also have to discuss how Sal and I got April Fool's prank 4 months after the April Fool's prank.
Yeah.
Did you guys seriously
Are you
get
serious?
pranked by that?
Yeah, we
Because
thought
I
that.
thought you were pranking me.
No,
And then I told Rob
No,
about it, and then he was like,
talk about this in the podcast. So thank you everybody over here at Comic Story, and make sure to check out the main show over at Marvel Explained. I'll see you guys next week.
Oh my
my
God. Okay,
Do you want me to reopen it, or do you care?
man, I don't think they care in the chat.
Okay. Well, then, real quick, thank you for joining us for the weekly poll. Today, we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. It's going to be really fun. All right, anyway, as we were saying,
Let's
so
do this.
I'm going to open this one with what exactly happened. So, my buddy, because I have a focus group. Every one of my videos goes out to my focus group first. Rob knows about it. Dave knows about it. Sal hates it.
yeah.
But basically, I have a focus group that I send stuff out to, and I don't know if they were pranked. I never asked them, but they sent me an article stating that Fox gave up the rights to
X-Men and
Fantastic Four.
They gave up all their
$1
Marvel.
billion.
A ridiculous sum of money
Yeah,
that Marvel
$1.8
would never be
billion
able to make back.
Right.
$1.8 billion a movie.
And what ended up happening was I fell for it, And I started telling all of my friends about it. And one of my friends is Sal. And I'm like, Sal! So we were talking about the New York Comic Con thing. And I'm like, by the way, and we ended up talking for 4 hours about how amazing this is going to be and the direction they can take with this.
Really
all
exciting.
kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah. That was
And then like Sal apparently tweeted it out, and then someone's like, "Dude, this is an April Fool's joke."
Yeah, somebody's like, "Hey man, I'm friggin' 4 months late." And I was like, "Oh, I'm an asshole."
I actually think I saw it back then, but I forgot about it entirely.
A friend of mine actually, I told my friends about it. I was like, "Oh, this is great news," and they were like, "Oh, that's really cool." And a friend of mine saw my tweet at like 2 a.m, where I was like, "I got punked. It's not real." And she got really mad, but not at me, at the idea of April Fools in general, that what it's become, where it's basically Liar's Day, and it's like, hey, the lesson that you should extrapolate from this experience is don't trust joy. Like, it's not like, this is not a rubber spider in my cocktail. This is like taking something you really, really want and then telling you get to have it and then taking it away from you.
Yeah.
And that's not really a prank as much as it is being a dick. And so, like, I find that the internet really doesn't know how to pull a prank as much as they know how to be assholes.
I was just going to use that exact word.
I do want to say this. In mine and Sal's defense, we even asked, why is this not all over the news?
Yeah, and we assumed.
That's what I was saying. Like, why can't I find it elsewhere on Google?
Right. And so what we assumed had happened was it got bumped off because of the Robin Williams news.
Yeah, it was literally like, he tells me this like the following day in the morning, like after.
Right, and Sal's like, why isn't this all over Twitter and everything? I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure everyone just cared more about Robin Williams.
No matter what, like, even if the president of the United States got assassinated, it would still be big in the news.
Even if the president of the United States were assassinated?
You think
wow,
that
thanks
X-Men
for putting us on the NSA's watch list there, Dave. I appreciate it.
The X-Men being
for the record, this part of the podcast is on Marvel Explained. His name is Robert Jefferson. I, Benny Potter of Comic Historian, had nothing to do with the quote. And the quote of the assassination was from David Howland of Comics Review. Sal is also completely innocent.
Totally autonomous.
You have to believe me. I'm so innocent.
Yeah.
No matter what, we're all still on the watch list.
Where is the video, Sal? You never linked it, so I don't have it. I can't see the
Let's face it, we use the internet, we're on the watch list. Let's face it, we use the internet, we're on the watch list.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm sorry, Benny, what
I'm looking for
video?
Oh, there it is. I'm looking for the live video.
Oh, sorry.
Sal, we got to discuss, not Sal, Rob, we got to discuss your thumbnails. I'm tired of seeing just Marvel all over your channel.
Why, man? It's awesome.
We got to come up with something better.
I mean, it looks cool, and I like it.
It does look cool. You know.
It's a uniform. All right, so that's the story of how Sal and I got punked and spent 4 hours talking about the awesome possibilities of Civil War and Galactus coming back to the.
Yeah, like it was just things that made sense that were really exciting, and like,
I really don't see them needing mutants for Civil War though, because they really weren't that involved.
No, but they could have had but it would have been cool to have. And I don't even care about Civil War, to be honest. Like Benny was like, "Yeah, Civil War." I'm like, oh, okay. Like, if they got to do Civil War, that's fine. I was more excited. Like, man, we're gonna get to see Wolverine and the Avengers, or we're gonna get to see they can finally just make Sky a mutant and be done with it, and not worry about the Inhumans nonsense.
Yeah, that was
crash that stupid movie.
The only reason I brought up Civil War is because in the fake report they stated Civil War, so I was like, well, we at least know that's gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly. But no. So
I knew that is it Rupert Murdoch who owns Fox?
Yeah.
He wasn't just gonna come out and be like, yeah, we listened to our audience and we don't want to make money on it anymore, so
so the heck with it.
We're just letting Marvel have it back.
I know.
$10 billion.
It was 1, by the way.
No, it was 1.8.
No, 1.8 per movie for 5.
I thought it was just 1.8 billion for the rights.
Yeah,
by the way, it's still not bad considering Disney bought Lucas for 4.
Are you guys aware of the fact that you're debating over a fake article, the amount of money that the fake people decided to pay for the fake movie rights?
Hey,
I'm just saying that's the reason I knew that it wasn't real. Or deep down, I was like, no, this is probably going to turn out to be a rumor.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Hey, let's move on and talk about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna give a little disclaimer here because I'm the guy that keeps us on track and all kinds of stupid stuff. This is the disclaimer. We warned you guys a week ago. Now it's been 2 weeks. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy this week. Spoilers, Easter eggs, all kinds of stuff. So if you still haven't seen it, what is wrong with you?
That's
but anyway,
what I'm saying.
if you still haven't seen it, take off now unless you don't care. Okay, this is
don't take off. Still watch us. Just mute us. Because
don't leave.
Yeah, go ahead and mute us then instead. We'll have Dave do the dance when we're done, so you know to unmute us for the next discussion.
Let's put up a paper like it's okay.
All right, so I think we can all universally agree here that the movie was amazing.
Yeah.
Yes,
all right, and that's
fantastic.
it. Next topic.
All right.
It was strange.
What
it
a
was
great
a very
discussion about Guardians of
strange
the
Marvel film.
We're so on top of this one.
It was, and in fact, like to me, it didn't even feel like a Marvel film.
No.
That's what I loved so much about it.
No, you're right. It didn't feel at all like a Marvel film. I didn't. At no point that I feel like the best part I loved about it, and we're not in the spoiler parts yet, but the best part I liked about it is they didn't try to wrap it in. They didn't like out of the blue like, oh, by the way, has anyone heard of Iron Man? A guy in a spacesuit down there? Oh, has anyone seen what's going on with the Hulk? Oh, yeah, I got friends who are the Avengers down there. Even the sequences on Earth, we never even heard about anything.
Yeah.
No Stark, no Iron Man, no nothing.
No, there wasn't even like a stupid article about like Howard Stark, like blah blah blah. Like, no, just
they completely made it separate. But at the same time, we finally get to see how powerful the. Why am I getting a phone call from New York? Oh wait, I know what that is probably. It was totally lost my train of thought. Okay. Anyway, we did get to see the power of the gem, which we haven't seen yet.
No.
So you can take that and put it into other stuff.
Well, I mean, like we saw. I mean, apparently the red vapor stuff from Thor 2 is a gem.
Yeah.
So like we got to see some of the raw power of it used. Like we get to see the mind gem in action in Avengers. We got to see like.
That was the reality gem in Thor 2.
Yeah, but I think this is the first time that someone's just flat out held it, and we've
That's
seen
true.
It.
And acknowledged it's a friggin' gem.
Yeah,
Although I think they call them stones in the movie, which I'm like,
Infinity Stones.
Yeah, it's all. I mean,
Stones,
depending on
gems.
what comic you're talking about, they're called the Infinity Stones or the Infinity Gems. Like the term just bounces around. Like I think in the what is it, Infinity Quest. I think they might call them Infinity Stones, or maybe they call them Infinity Gems. I don't remember.
Right.
Okay.
It's an infinity glowing orby thing.
Yeah.
It's a gem that shines.
Yep. That represents some elemental force in the universe.
Yeah.
But that's what I really enjoyed about it. Like, granted, I would like to have seen the champion, just like flying around space, like just destroying stuff, wielding this power gem, and then Thanos just be like, "Give me that," But in the end, I'm not that upset because I think it all just tied in together so well. In all honesty, I don't really care how it is that Thanos gets the gems, as long as he gets the gems and then just like wipes out half the universe. But
he's gonna.
I don't want him to wipe out the universe.
He's gonna wipe out the Nova Corps.
Oh,
yeah.
They're already weakened,
we know
and they're
that's
keeping the gem.
Yeah.
So Thanos is gonna come down with an army
almost
just
see-
by himself.
I can
and
see
be
the
like,
intro
"You're all
to
dead
Guardians
now."
2. The intro to Guardians 2 is going to be Thanos just showing up and being like, oh, by the way, this wasn't supposed to happen as per canon. You're dead.
I mean, like I think I don't even think I don't think Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is going to have Thanos really. I think it's really going to be more like I think Avengers 3 is going to open with Thanos going to Asgard, laying siege to it, taking the red vapor thing. I think he's going to go to the Nova Corps and destroy it. Just opening onslaught of epic.
It'd be the best way to open it up. Because we all expected it in Guardians. We expected it was going to happen, and they didn't. And the reason they didn't go in that direction is because if this bombed, we have a complete package movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
No loose ends, nothing really. The only loose end is who is Star-Lord's dad.
Yeah, and it was a smart move on Marvel to do that because this was a huge gamble. I mean, this is a movie that took place out in space with a group that was established in 2008. No one really knew who Guardians of the Galaxy was.
I've seen the best quote on this, Rob. This is probably the most successful, the most expectedly successful gamble ever.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you had to admit, like, it would be successful. Like, I knew it was going to be successful to a degree. I didn't think it'd be as successful as it's proven to be.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Well,
I don't think people would come out and say this movie's on par with Avengers. It's just that good.
When the first trailer came out, I immediately thought Pluto Nash and that it was gonna bomb. Like, I thought like,
Did you
oh
really?
no, they cannot pull off a comedy sci-fi in outer space and have it be good.
They totally can.
And then like the next few trailers built my confidence a bit, and obviously Marvel hasn't made a mistake yet, really. So
Why,
I was
everyone
like,
says that. I want everyone to stop saying Marvel hasn't made a mistake yet, because Iron Man 2 was crap. So wait, hold on. It's not a bad movie, but I'm gonna chalk that up to Marvel's failure. So we can't have a failure. It's all gonna be good now. So
I think
That's true.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, like, what was it? Marvel hasn't lost money on anything yet.
no.
Like,
the
and that's
story
because
in Iron Man 2 was pretty crappy compared to everything else in the whole thing.
I think I had more fun watching Iron Man 2 than 3.
Well, did you guys see the interview with Mickey Rourke where he was talking about like all the stuff involving Whiplash that ended up on the cutting room floor? He was like, the movie was supposed to have a lot more to do with like Justin Hammer and Whiplash than the way it appeared to be. Because like the problem with the movie was there was no like central narrative. Like there was no central point. It was just like, well, we've got Justin Hammer, who admittedly in the comics is a really cool character. And yeah, they were just kind of like, well,
he becomes a villain eventually.
Yeah, well,
like a full-blown villain, not just.
Yeah, but he's always been. No, but I mean, like even just like from like a business standpoint, as an opponent of Tony Stark, like he was just a cool character. He was like Obadiah Stane. So what Marvel did in the film is they like took away this main narrative. Like you got Whiplash that shows up, and then you've got this whole thing, I guess, with Tony Stark and his dad, and then it's like at no point can you point to the movie and say this is the main focus of the film. It's just like there's like all this stuff happening. So.
Well, the main focus of the film is legacy. It's a theme. Like the theme of the movie is what is Stark's legacy, and he like questions that. He tries to force it, and then he winds up having like establishing one at the end. Like that's the beginning, middle, and end of Iron Man 2. It's just kind of like there's no central like who's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like is it Whiplash? I guess. But like what's the real conflict? What's the central conflict of Iron Man 2? And it's like meh. Like not much. Like there's a guy who sucks. He's trying to kill him. Like Whiplash. Like the fact that Whiplash is on the cutting room floor is great because Whiplash was boring. And I don't care about it.
No, come on.
Whiplash was
not.
You know who's way better than Whiplash?
This is the greatest tangent we've ever had. But today is the week we finally get to talk about Guardians, and we're debating the villain of Iron Man 2.
All right,
the least liked Marvel movie ever.
So here's one thing that I thought a lot of people like didn't really pick up on is. I am glad that Marvel's made Thanos as powerful as he is. And the reason why I say that is because when Ronan the Accuser betrayed him with the power gem, Thanos was just like, all right, whatever. Like there was like, no concern. He was just like, he's like, all right, who cares? Which I thought was awesome because if it was supposed to be like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? You know, he would have been freaked out. But you know, he was just like, all right, whatever. Like I'll just kill you later.
I have a question, and this is more for you Marvel guys. I've done my research on Thanos. Mm-hmm. The Skrull have the wrinkly chin. So does Thanos. I thought he was a separate race.
Mm-hmm. He is. It's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a Titan, right? Like that's what
he's a Titan from the Moon Titan.
Which
is part of Saturn.
Yeah, but he basically just looks like a purple Skrull if you take the
Yes, he does. He does. But he's like apparently he's like an unnatural birth. Like his brother is actually like very pretty looking, but like he is supposed to, he was just it's all like part of the whole like Thanos grew up like the average nerd. Like he was weird looking and he didn't have friends and then he killed his mom and you know like
and then he has this thing where he's in love with death and it's not reciprocated.
But that came later on. That came after he was banished.
Yeah, that came later.
But that was after he was
but it's part of his character. Like
yeah.
But the chin thing is like.
Yeah, I was just curious because I mean I've always seen it in the comics and I always kind of ignored it, but it's very prominent in there, and we don't have Skrulls, so I was kind of like, is this something we're gonna do? You know?
Yeah. No. Thanos is in no way related to the Skrulls. I mean, wouldn't that be funny though if Marvel came out like after Original Sin and they're just like, Thanos has been a Skrull this whole time, like super mega Skrull.
You know who would freak out? Jim Starlin would
He'd have a heart attack. Yeah, he'd probably just die in his chair.
Because I just read that Thanos Imperative or whatever it was called.
Yeah. God,
the Infinity Revelation. That's what I read. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So bad.
What?
It was so boring.
Oh my God.
This is not.
I haven't read it yet.
The Infinity Revelation was so effing boring. Like that was
Infinity
like
effing boring.
No, man, you guys are just so.
No.
You guys are spoil sports, is what you guys are.
All right, back to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
All right, so Ron and the Accuser. All right, I was actually disappointed in Ron and the Accuser. The guy was like a henchman.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, he betrayed Thanos, but what henchman doesn't betray the person they work for at some point in time? But
No, what really irritates me about Ronan, though, is in the books he has more of his own agenda and goal. And this one, they literally just made him a mass murderer. I just want to wipe. He was very Nazi-ish, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was. He really was.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm going to show up and kill people because I want to preserve this old school way of life that hasn't been in existence for 1,000 years. Like, it's just like, okay, like this is dumb. Like, Ron and the Accuser exists to pass judgment on people, not to, like, capture...
Side note, comment real quick. Just hold that thought. Christopher Fry says that with all this build-up for Thanos, we finally see him and the dude never moves. All right, keep going.
He never moves.
But, no, like, it's like Ron and the Accuser does not run around and try to capture Infinity Gems. Now, I understand that the movie takes place in a totally different universe than what we see in the comics, and that I understand, and that's fine. But I have a very hard time believing that Ron and the Accuser, the head of the Accuser Corps, the law-governing group within the Kree Society, which only answers to the Supreme Intelligence and the dude below him.
And not even really them.
Yeah, and not really them. That he would say, well... let's capture Infinity Stones.
Well, it's not. No, whoa, hold on.
Well,
Ronan wasn't. He didn't know he was going for the stone.
No,
Yeah,
but once you knew what it was, like, you took it.
Yeah, well, of course, dude. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna bring this super powerful gem to this super evil bad guy so that he can kill people for me, or I take it and now I can do that.
But I'm saying, like, his entire motivation was just silly.
His entire motivation
very,
to blow up the other planet. But yes, I agree.
It was very like generic villain, like
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I think that worked perfectly. I think that like you need him to be very cut and dry. Like Ronan the Accuser is a really interesting character. They did him great in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the cartoon, where Marvel's like, you can't stop him. Like he was sent to pass judgment. Like he has accused you. It's over. Like I'm sorry, he can't be beaten. And like that idea of the futility of the character is really cool, but I think a little too complicated. Like while Guardians of the Galaxy, people think like, oh, it's so what? Look at all these crazy creatures. Like they all look like people. They all speak English. There's just pink people and blue people. Like they really did a good job of making it look more complicated than it was, and just telling a really fun story that really you could set in like Japan or the West or on the moon. It didn't matter. Like it was just a generic story that really worked well with really well-rounded characters. And like, so you needed to decomplicate Ronan the Accuser. Like, it's cool that they used him. I don't know of any other character you could have used that you could tie in with like the Kree, the Nova Corps, and Thanos that like would have worked as well. Like, instead of making Ronan the Accuser like work as he does as a comic book character, I think it's easier and I think better for the movie we saw to make him just the bad guy. Like, you know what I mean? He's just he has very simple motivation, but
in the movie.
Yeah,
and I agree with you 100. They decomplicated a lot of stuff. Gamora got decomplicated to he kidnapped me and I'm his daughter. Like she's
she's already pretty uncomplicated.
Yeah, but they boiled it down to one sentence explains her. Drax. They got rid of the whole thing of him being a spirit inside of a body.
God, I was so disappointed by that.
They were just like, this is Drax's race. Drax's race is stupid. They're big and strong, and he wants to go kill Ronan because Ronan killed his guys. And they implied at the ending he's now after Thanos because Thanos was behind it all.
I was so disappointed that they did that, and because Drax's motivation is to kill Thanos. Awesome, you do that. When he says like I have to kill Ronan because he killed my family, I'm like, okay, so they changed it. Fine. Yeah. But then at the end, they shoehorn in. He's like, no, he was actually a puppet. Like, if you're going to do that, establish it early on so it doesn't feel tacked on. So it doesn't feel like
You know what I hated about that, though, him saying that at the ending, was honestly, it gave more intelligence to Drax. Yeah. This is a guy who didn't understand anything. He was the guy who literally... And now, out of the blue, he's able to... behind all of it, it actually wasn't Ronan. I actually understand all of this now.
It's not that he didn't understand concepts. He took everything literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's not that he wasn't smart. He just didn't understand sarcasm.
Well, but I mean, and I get what you're saying about that. But the whole decomplicated thing, everyone got decomplicated except for Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Even Rocket Raccoon's origin, we found out nothing more than he's an experiment.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
which by the way, I'm
superficially, he kind of is like.
Right, but there's so much more to it. We decomplicated it too. He's just the last of his kind. He's an experiment. That's all.
But the scene where Marvel explained that was so awesome.
Yeah,
so
where
powerful.
he's just like drunk and breaking down. He was like, I've been experimented on, all that kind of stuff. Like that was so cool.
Well,
that was
there
were feels all over that theater, when he was freaking out.
Yeah, there were like at least two emotionally raw scenes in that movie. They both came from the cartoon raccoon.
Yeah.
And, the only thing.
And real quick, just before we go to that, because I do want to talk about that, but Groot was completely uncomplicated to the point of he is just a tree who's going to hit things.
Just a tree, and it's very R2-3PO.
Every time that they even brought him up, who's Groot? Oh, he's the raccoon's muscle. Yep. And that was it.
But I will say this, I think it's a testament to how well Groot's character was done and how well the writing was for Rocket Raccoon, because for a tree that walks around and says, I am Groot the entire time, he had amazing character development. I felt bad. I was like, oh my god, Groot's gonna die. And I was like, this is awful. I love Groot. That was one of the best scenes too at the ending. Yeah.
And speaking of emotionally charged scenes, I'm gonna go with a third one. Well, I guess you could chalk that both up to Rocket Raccoon, because most of them was him being upset about everything.
Yeah. At the end, I almost I felt myself tearing up, but the whole movie was like that, where they would build just enough tension where you think, oh man, this is getting serious, and then they would just completely flat out nope, this funny thing's gonna happen. And you're like, oh, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, you so corny. But going on the emotionally charged scenes, you're right. It was funny because the only other scene that even hinted at getting close to that was the whole Gamora and Star-Lord thing, where it looked like they're going to kiss, and then she goes and kills them, I know your rumor. And you're like, well, that's not emotionally charged.
That worked. Yeah. That worked well. I was really glad, because in the trailer, there was a shot of them almost kissing, and I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, don't link them up. Don't.
Yeah. Don't link anybody up. Why do we need to sexualize Gamora at all? Actually, I noticed they cut a shot from her in the trailer where she's, getting undressed. It's in the trailer, but not in the movie. Where,
I did notice that.
She's taking off her clothes, and they just didn't show that. And I'm like, yes! Thank you for not making it all...
Now you've dirtied my mind. Now I'm trying to think of what a naked Gamora would look like, and that doesn't look good in my head.
I mean, they asked...
I feel like she would stab...
They asked Zoe Saldana about that, and she said that she just wanted teenage boys to like her in the movie. She just wanted teenage boys to like her character. So that's why they over sexualized her and then toned her down in terms of just being a formidable character in the film. Which is at least from what I understand of the interview, that's what she had said, which was kind of disappointing, because I was like, you don't want to be a strong female lead. You just want to be a hot chick. Okay.
I don't care about what Zoe Saldana thinks, so I'm really happy that we have...
What else was she in? She was in something else.
She was in Star Wars. Or
Star Trek, that was it.
She's also Natiri in Avatar. She's no Jake Sully. She's that one.
Iceman says that he's more disappointed that Ronan has been killed because they can't expand upon him now.
Oh, he'll be back.
Yeah, no one stays dead in a comic book
Where's his
universe.
body? Yeah. Where's his body? Did they bury it?
Well, supposedly it was totally incinerated, but I mean, they'll use the reality gem and bring him back or something.
All you have to do is what they did with the Red Skull and stuff. Oh, he's locked in this other universe. Oh wait, I just thought of Avengers 3 what the plot is going to be. Thanos unlocks all these guys they've locked away with the gem.
I mean, lock him in the kiln, man. Just throw him in that interdimensional prison or whatever it is on the fringe, edges of space.
What was the what's the gem? I think it's the space gem that's in the cube. I think that's what they're trying to say with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Is that Kevin Feige space gem?
Is it Feige or Feige, or how do you pronounce Kevin's last name?
I think it's Feige.
Feige. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige. Okay. Well,
either that or Feige.
I'm pronouncing it 100% wrong, but in any event, they specifically said that the Cosmic Cube was one of the Infinity Stones. So, so there's
all right.
Do what?
Which is all right, fine.
Yeah,
they need to do that. But my point is, maybe Red Skull is in the gem, because it opens up space. He could be in the gem. He could be.
So could Ronan. I mean, maybe there's a whole Infinity Universe. They all get ported over. And then there's incursions, and the new Avengers go in and stop the Infinity incursions. And no, wait.
No, we're not doing no incursions.
Well, the one thing you got to also remember too is that there are tons of cosmic cubes out there. In the comics, there are so many cosmic cubes, Cubic is the result of a cosmic cube, and he could make himself the size of a universe. So
yeah,
I mean,
the Beyonder used to be a cosmic cube.
Yeah, like there's all kinds of like cosmic cubes out there. So it's entirely possible that the Red Skull's been stuck in a cosmic cube, but I don't think we're going to see the Red Skull again because Hugo Weaving said he doesn't want to come back and do Red Skull anymore.
Oh, he doesn't need to do that.
See, there you go. Thanos brings back Red Skull, Abomination, the Leader, and Mandarin as his henchmen.
Oh my God.
Awesome. That would be
the Mandarin would be like the weakest character there.
No, they've implied that there is a real Mandarin behind all of this.
Yeah, I know that. Well, from what I understand, what they're saying is that either Sir Ben Kingsley will become the Mandarin, or like the actual Mandarin will show up.
Yeah,
I've read that in multiple places.
They basically have written out a way to give us the real one, not the fake one.
I'm glad to see because I was so pissed when Sir Ben Kingsley was just like, "Hey, I'm an actor." And then it turned out that...
You're right. I'm so pissed off that they didn't use the horribly racist villain in Iron Man lore.
It's not, dude. It's not a racist villain, man. It's just he's a guy that has 10 rings. Dude, people would have looked past that and said, "This guy's pretty bad."
They wouldn't know.
Dude, he can punch through Iron Man's armor with his bare hands.
People out and felt that it was offensive that we didn't have a Japanese Shredder.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Ninja Turtles. And hold on, there wasn't a Japanese Shredder?
Ninja Turtles.
Originally there wasn't, and you can see in the movie where they were kind of implying that it wouldn't have been him, and they kind of shoehorned in, the such and such. They do. I'm not spoiling anything, by the way. It's in the first 10 minutes you find out that there is a Shredder. And originally there wasn't a Shredder. It was going to be this other character who's a villain who was going to be the Shredder.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that sucks.
Did anybody else feel like? By the way, Captain America 2: The Winter Soldier, awesome movie, wouldn't change a thing.
Oh, yeah.
But who else was expecting Cap to face off against Robert Redford and to have him rip his face off and have him reveal that he was been the Red Skull the whole time?
I was so hoping that was going to happen. Yeah. And I was so disappointed.
Like, oh, well. I mean, and the fact is, it actually made it less silly and comic booky that it was just a jerk. Fine.
Just some guy who's an asshole.
Yeah. Wouldn't it have been awesome if he was just like, if he was like, kids and your dog.
That would have been so cool.
Nick Fury walks in and he's all like, "Cap, you know the mystery's been solved, right? It's actually the Red Skull from World War II pretending to be Robert Redford."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
He'll be all tied up like this, and Black Widow walk over and she'll strip his mask off, and then he'll be like, "I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you, Don kid."
For you meddling kids. No, I was
totally stupid dude, Captain America.
I was so hoping that was gonna happen. But see, like it was with Guardians of the Galaxy. I was hoping that when I don't know why they didn't do this, but when Ronan the Accuser had the power gem and was just tearing into people, that Thanos was going to show up at the very end and just be like, "Give me that gem," and just take it away from him.
Yeah. That would have been awesome.
I know why.
That would have been
why
so great.
Because if they did that, you would have had the massive cliffhanger, and we would need a sequel.
Yep.
By doing what they've done now, Nova Corps, which spoilers, but if you've read the comics, they don't survive.
Yeah.
We all know as comic book fans where this could go. As a movie, the space police have got the gem, everything's wrapped up and nice and good to go. Yeah. You could literally open the next movie with Thanos just blowing up the planet and taking it, and Star-Lord getting reports that the Nova Corps has just been destroyed, the stone's been taken.
Just like Sal set up, he has the ability to go through and get the gem from the Nova Corps, take the red mist from Asgard, and just do a complete sweep of all these cultures that have been developed.
He can also go
and really set himself up as a really overpowered villain character in the third Avengers.
Yeah. It allows him to go through all the last couple of movies and remind you about them without actually showing you that, you know what I mean? He gets to go through Thor.
It could literally be the opening credits.
Yeah.
And it could just be a musical montage where we just see Thanos walk over and he just does something along the lines of, "That's it. I know where all the gems are." And then the credits roll and we have epic music and you just see him walking and literally showing his power of just taking it.
Yep. Yeah. And he takes every gem but the last one, which is on Earth.
Right.
And it establishes that Thanos is an unstoppable force with all these gems without having to show him kill people. We don't have to have him explain that he's powerful or have some character show up and go "Hey, watch out for Thanos. He's really powerful. Oh, this is going to be a real bad fight."
You could even do that.
We see it.
The opening intro could be him getting the one from the Nova Corps.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
Star-Lord
like,
gets word of that, goes down and tells the Avengers about it. Then we cut to a scene. He's getting the one from Red Mist. The Avengers are now preparing. What do we do about this crazy, awesome guy? We need to pull in more Avengers. Go get that new guy, the Wasp. Go get the Falcon. Go get Spider-Man, because we're totally going to buy them from Sony. Go get everybody. They start setting up this amazing like Avengers force with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Then Thanos shows up on the Earth, takes the Cosmic Cube. Oh no. Then we got Ultron. Ultron's been rezzed. And we got Ultron, and we got Red Skull, and we got Abomination, and we got the leader, and then the real Mandarin shows up and says, I planned all of this, and I just made the greatest movie ever.
Yeah, but you're forgetting one very important person that was established to us in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, God.
Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock.
Dude, they could easily, next movie, go, that cocoon had a giant bug in it.
Nope.
Adam Warlock's going to be in 3 movies.
Nope, that cocoon is Adam Warlock. I know, and the reason why I know is because James Gunn has said that was Adam Warlock's cocoon.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if it's a cocoon. Doesn't mean we're getting him. Next thing. You've established almost nothing with him. And better yet, I can even work him into my whole thing. So the reason that Star-Lord finds out about Thanos, Adam Warlock warns him, and then Adam Warlock with the Guardians goes to Earth.
And the collection has been blown up. So, like, the explosion could have incubated Adam Warlock into hatching during that movie.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Warlock is like pure, like for the most part, like pure power. So that usually is the case. But that's why I am, man, I'm so excited because that's the one thing I was hoping for, despite all the stuff that I'd seen, the Quasar bands. Because honestly, I don't care if we see Wendell Vaughn. Like, I don't care about Quasar.
What about Richard Rider? That would have been awesome.
Richard Rider would have been okay, but I wanted to see.
I would have even taken Sam. I would have taken
Nathan
Sam.
Fillion as Richard Rider would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome. Yeah. But
since that's never happening, we can talk about them casting like Zac Efron as fucking Sam.
Why is it never happening?
No, Sam could be great, dude. I could totally see Zac Efron.
Fillion's not gonna do it. He's just like if he was gonna do it, he would have done it. They were saying he's like, I'm not doing Richard Rider. I'm not doing Nova. Like, I don't know. Like, I know that they were thinking about doing a Nova movie, and the fact they're doing an Inhumans movie.
I think they're doing Sam though. Is the problem? I don't think they're doing Richard Rider.
Yeah, they won't do Richard Rider.
No, they're hyping up Sam way too much in every other media. Why would we out of the blue go, oh, by the way, here's Richard Rider?
Yeah,
even though Richard Rider is currently being hyped up in the comics as like a big badass villain.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're bringing Richard Rider back, and they're like, hey, here's how he survived
as a good guy.
the Cancerverse.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's coming back, I think, is like that's what I'm excited to see. I mean,
not as a good guy.
No, but keep in mind, I mean, Adam Warlock was a bad guy too when he was the Magus, which is something. Now that I think about it, I really hope they do. If they bring Adam Warlock into the fray, I want to see Adam Warlock.
I don't think they will, because what they've proven, what has been proven with every movie up to this point, is if the history is overly convoluted, we ditch it.
They don't do it, or they change it.
They ditch all the overly. If we were to get Adam Warlock as a good guy or bad guy, he would either be a good guy or bad guy. He wouldn't flip sides. He would be the Magus, or he would be Warlock, and we would deal with him directly like that, and we would get none of his history other than this is the guy who protects the gems or something like that.
But what I'm saying is, we've already got everything we need to explain the Magus. Like, we've got the Soul Gem, you've got Adam Warlock. I mean, that's all you need.
No, but this is exactly how they've been writing stuff up, honestly. And I've been watching a lot of these movies lately, and I've been kind of figuring this stuff out. And honestly, it's one of the reasons the way I do my videos 10 minutes. They basically take all of the history of a superhero and they cliff note the hell out of it. And if it has to be explained into 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
If it can't, they don't touch it.
Yeah.
Just look at what happened to Drax. Drax's current explanation is a 2-minute explanation. His old one would have been like half the freaking movie.
Yeah. Well, I don't think so. I mean, they could have done it pretty fast. I mean, they could have said.
But then you have people asking way too many questions. You need somebody to be able to walk away and not have questions.
Well, that's why. See, that's the problem that you have when you take a gamble with a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy, because you're 100% right when you said earlier that with the way the movie was done, the way it was written, that it's a self-contained story. So if it had flopped, Marvel would never have to reference it again. But because it's so successful. Like, now we're asking questions like, okay, why didn't Thanos take the power gem away from Ron and the Accuser? Why don't we learn that that Drax is actually Arthur Douglas, a human from the planet Earth? Like, why don't we learn these things? Like, why don't we why aren't they?
Because it can't work. Honestly, we can even look back at other superheroes. Look at the Captain America 2 movies. They took a 60-year history and boiled it down to Captain America is a super soldier who has a friend named Bucky. Captain America got frozen. Bucky got turned into an assassin. Bucky is now fighting against Captain America. In 3 sentences, I just explained the entire Captain America Marvel Universe history.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is
Now,
true.
if we were to sit down and go over the logistics of the actual comic story, does anyone have 6 hours?
No.
Not for Captain America.
That is true.
Not for Captain America. I mean, honestly, the Tony Stark alcoholism is something that
drop that.
That is a huge thing in the comic books. One of the defining elements of the Tony Stark character. They still reference it in the comics, and it's one of the best story arcs out there. Right alongside, like the whole Green Arrow sidekick getting heroin addiction. And we boiled that down to he just had a drinking issue during one party.
Yeah, basically, which was disappointing.
Right. So I totally do not see them doing anything convoluted. And if we get Adam Warlock, just like they did with the Guardians, it's not going to be the one you want. I'll tell you that right now.
That's what I'm really gonna, because I don't want to see Adam Warlock show up as like Captain Planet kind of guy, for the universe, and it's like, well, with your Infinity Stones combined, I am Adam Warlock, like I just don't want to see
Warlock, he's a hero.
I don't want to see some stupid thing, where he shows up. I mean, I want to see Adam Warlock from the comics, the Jesus Christ, messianic kind of character who's like, I'm here to save everybody from dying and here to organize, cosmic entities, abstracts alongside, super powerful people, and we're all going to try to get together and stop Thanos and fail in the process. Like, I want to see like that version of Adam Warlock.
I think that's what's so brilliant about the cinematic universe is comic book people assume these things happened, and they allow the viewer to assume that those things happened without conflicting with it at all.
Yeah.
But they don't explain it because normal people that go to see a movie aren't going to want to see an hour of Adam Warlock's development or Drax the Destroyer on...
Okay, Rob, everyone watching this, I'm requesting funding so that Rob can make a fan film explaining Adam Warlock. Rob will be Adam Warlock. He will also be starring as Mad Jim Jaspers.
Yes, I will. Mad Jim Jaspers versus Adam Warlock. Who will win?
It'll be like one of those Nutty Professor things where you're just every role in the movie.
I mean, but see, like in all seriousness though, like here's the thing, in the comic books, Adam Warlock, of course, he plays like a messiah kind of character. He only shows up when things are really bad, usually involving Thanos, and then pretty much like saves the universe. Like when Thanos captures the heart of the universe and wipes everything out. I
think they'll use Adam Warlock as the Watcher role.
See, I don't want to see that happen. I want to see Adam Warlock show up, and to say, look, like you guys are basically lost without me being able to guide you, which is exactly the case. And him band together with Gamora, and I don't know if they'll introduce this troll or not. I don't care about Pip. Pip was a stupid little troll who smoked cigars in his human form. Troll. Yeah, I don't care about Pip, but I want to see them introduce a really good version of Adam Warlock. He doesn't necessarily have to be a comic book version. Like he doesn't have to be teetering on the edge of insanity where he becomes a bad guy and leads the Universal Church of Truth. But I want to see like Adam Warlock as like the character for the most part that we see in the comics, the leader, the guy that organizes the Infinity Watch, stuff like that. Like I want to see that version of Adam Warlock in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
Whether we'll see that or not, I don't know. But
it's gonna be like Drax. It's gonna be explain. Okay, here's your challenge. You have 5 sentences to give me Adam Warlock's origin, and that'll probably be what they use.
Yep.
5 sentences to give you Adam Warlock. Well, they can't do it because it involves the Fantastic Four.
But... No. You have to drop it then. So, in 5 sentences,
true.
Explain his origin.
No. Adam Warlock first appeared in a Thor comic. So they have Adam Warlock.
Hold on. What? He didn't first appear in a Thor comic, did he? I thought he first appeared in the Fantastic Four.
I just want to let you guys know a side note real quick.
Appeared
I just want to let you know a side note real quick. I looked this up because he was making the joke about the Captain Planet Affinity Gems, and I was going to sing along with them, going with soul, time, space, mind, reality, power. And did you know that there is 2 extra gems that they have not mentioned or referenced? The Ego Gem and the Rhythm Gem.
The Rhythm Gem.
The Rhythm Gem.
No Hustler has control
gives
of
its
that.
wielder
Actually,
superb rhythm.
There's a Rhythm Gem in the Marvel Superhero Squad universe. It is the 7th Rhythm Gem used by Loki.
That makes sense.
And it's pink.
Oddly enough, Loki's competing on Dancing with the Galactic Stars.
I need that Rhythm Gem. I need to know what I'm doing.
I was wrong. Adam Warlock.
Yeah. Just so you know, Rob, if a character's origin originates with any of the characters that Fox or Sony owns, they own that character.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So he would have
Adam
had
Warlock.
to originate in one of the Marvel books that Marvel owns the rights to.
He first appeared
Otherwise,
in
they
Fantastic
wouldn't
Four
have him.
66, dated 1967.
Yeah, I thought he first appeared in Fantastic Four.
Yeah, he appeared in Fantastic Four. I'm sorry.
Well,
his second
damn
appearance.
it. I guess we will never see Adam Warlock then.
It really depends, though, because there are certain exceptions here and there, too.
I mean,
But-
if Fox
I think
didn't
a
know
lot of
who
the-
Adam Warlock was, they could just say, well, we're going to keep Adam Warlock. And Fox is like, okay, I mean, we don't know who that is. Who cares?
Right. Well, the thing is going
Right.
on with this thing is, if a character, first off, if the character's popular, like Wolverine, even though he's been solo, oh well, he's technically an X-Man, so we get to use Wolverine. You know, it's that kind of deal. Like with the Spider-Man, they're like, oh, we can use Venom and Spider-Man because Spider-Girl because they're a Spider family. But then you get things like the big debate has always come into, and I think this is where the problem with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver came into. Yeah, they may have started in one or two issues of a different book, but they've become such a staple in everything else. And that's where the issue with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver has come in, because technically they're mutants and X-Men, but they haven't been technically in a mutant book in a very long time. The only real tie, and the only time we ever see them in a mutant book at this point, is when the Avengers need to go against Magneto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing though. Like,
No, Iceman, it is totally canon. I don't care if it's chibi little short versions. They said there's a rhythm gem. That means that there is a dance gem out there. Iceman's telling me it's a kid's show.
Oh, okay.
I want to see the dance jam show up in the universe.
I never watched the Superhero Squad show, so I don't know. Like, it just didn't seem at all interesting to me. I mean, I was like,
But now that I know there's a dance gem, I just want to see
Thanos, when he was collecting the Infinity Gems, was just like, I don't need to dance.
But see, like here's the other thing though. Like for example,
wait, hold on. Technically, we could have easily had the rhythm gem, because at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy, Star-Lord challenges Ronan, that guy, to a dance-off.
That's true.
He
does have rhythm.
And he should have easily been like, you may have the power gem. I got the rhythm gem.
I mean, he introduced Kevin Bacon to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Kevin Bacon's probably the one above all in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't know.
Oh no!
But no, like here's the thing. So, like, I mean, the kind of characters they're introducing, we could really see some cool stuff. Like, for example, Infinity Conquests, Ultron and the Phalanx versus everybody in the universe. Like, Ultron takes over the body of Adam Warlock. I mean, you know, you've got Thanos, you know, who
honestly, Rob, I think we need to move on from Adam Warlock. You're very fixated on a like millisecond Easter. There was more of an Easter egg with Howard the Duck than Adam Warlock.
That's because people weren't paying attention, man.
It was a single scene, and while I agree we're probably going to get Adam Warlock, you could discuss this for 4 hours.
I could.
Why don't we discuss the movie that's currently out?
I could discuss that before.
Say, Rob, before we go on to continuing the discussion, I have no idea how you made a 25-minute long video on Howard the Duck.
Yeah, I'm gonna. My props to you, good sir.
I was thinking about that. I was like, am I going to be able to make a 25-minute video about Howard the Duck? And then I started to do it, and I was like, yeah, I can make a 25-minute video on Howard the Duck. I can 25 minutes was a good number, because by the time that 25 minutes came to an end, it's like, okay, this is pretty much the end of Howard the Duck. Like, the controversy surrounding Howard the Duck is more interesting than Howard the Duck in the comics.
Yeah. No, I want to give you props for that, because Sal did 30 minutes on Justice League Origins that I did in 4 minutes, but he actually did do Justice League Origins in 4 minutes. He just has 26 other minutes of other stuff.
Yeah. 25 minutes, yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. All right, so moving on. Are you guys ready to wrap up Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, we gotta keep talking.
No.
Dude, you put us on this Adam Warlock trip for like the last 30 minutes.
Well, fine, man. My God.
We're talking about the gems, and you're like, Adam Warlock had a cocoon. Let's discuss.
People in the comments love our tangents, though.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But
They're all just like, hey, like,
they love the tangents, but they have to end eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually, they have to clump back in. Otherwise, it's like we're talking Guardians of the Galaxy and more the cocoon.
and now we're on talking about the Barbie that released in 1958.
By the way, dude, I have that in my collection. It's really nice, worth a lot of money now. Anyway, okay, so we discussed that Easter egg. Let's discuss Howard the Duck real quick. What do you think this means for the universe?
I don't think it means anything. I think James Gunn or Kevin Feige, whoever it is, said that this is just the tip of the hat. Like, there's really not going to be expansion on how, which I'm glad because I mean, come on. The cinematic universe is great right now. I don't want to see a walking, talking duck.
No. I don't think we're going to get a Howard the Duck comic, a movie, or a resurgence of the comic or anything. But with this, what this shows is Marvel is willing to do anything out of the comics.
Yep.
There is no limit anymore. Guardians of the Galaxy was like a big, what the hell are they doing? And then they end it with, by the way, Howard the Duck also exists. So just go ahead and start picturing what else we're throwing into this mix.
Yeah.
Howard the Duck sucks.
Yeah.
And
Howard the Duck does suck, man. He is such a stupid character.
CG was really bad. In a movie with great CG, you had the PS, which was supposed to set up anything we wanted to see about Marvel that could have been really cool, and we saw a really bad CG Howard the Duck. I'm sorry.
You know
it
what?
was so bad.
I'm going to go ahead and say the last,
it was insulting.
The last, 3 movies, post-credit scenes, have been
so bad. They've been the worst.
Like we had we had the therapist. That was horrible.
The therapist scene.
Howard the Duck, yes, it saw a cocoon. Congratulations, Rob. But it was about Howard the Duck and it sucked.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Howard the Duck was Howard the Duck was cool. Like he was fun in the comics because he was just weird. It was weird to see a walking, talking duck going around and fighting vampiric cows and giant man frogs.
Yeah.
Like
it
was interesting.
What do you do if you get Donald Duck in the cinema into a Marvel universe? That's pretty much the whole concept behind Howard the Duck.
Yeah, you can't do anything with that.
No.
So.
Yeah. I've been talking with people, and I think I don't know. Maybe they'll put him in like cameos in the future, but they're not gonna have him have any like really important role. Like, they can't give him a full movie or even, like, a full scene in a movie.
I see him getting cameos.
It would just be ridiculous.
He gets cameos right now throughout all of the every event. Howard the Duck's in the background.
Yeah.
Even Original Sin, he was in the background. Yeah. So I would not doubt them establishing him, and then it becomes the new game. You know, we had the Stan Lee cameo. Now it's going to be the Howard the Duck. Did you catch Howard the Duck?
Right. That'd be funny.
I mean,
I can see that.
I don't think it'd be very funny. I mean, Howard the Duck's just a dumb character. I'm sure that Seth Green voicing Howard the Duck will probably do a really good job, but honestly, like it's not a matter of my concern that Howard the Duck may take away from like the story or anything like that. It's just I don't care about Howard the Duck.
No,
I did a Howard the Duck video because I knew that after the movie came out, people were going to want to know about Howard the Duck. People were like, all right, I want to know more about Howard the Duck. Like 1986, okay, whatever. And people can read some obscure stuff. And people are like, what's this whole deal with the controversy between Disney and Marvel? And people had sent me like mountains and mountains of messages asking me to do Howard the Duck. So I was like, okay, we'll go ahead and do a video on him. I mean, sure, he sucks, but whatever.
Right.
I mean...
Yeah, it sucks. I mean,
Well, nobody wanted to read his comics. They wanted you to explain them.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So Howard the Duck is confirmed for Avengers 3?
See?
Oh, my God.
What did I tell you? It's gonna be the next... Because Stanley's getting too old to keep doing this.
Yeah.
And we need something that people are going to look for and go, that's awesome!
I mean, Stan Lee, he's almost done with all his living. Like, he's getting pretty old.
All of his living.
I mean, he's getting pretty old, dude.
He's going to live until, like, 200 just to spite you and make you eat your words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob at Marvel Explained said that I'm almost done with all my... Well, I'll show him.
Yeah.
Using the magic of myself.
Yeah.
Because honestly, we're running into a problem where we're going to lose Captain America, we're going to lose, Iron Man, we're going to lose these actors soon. We're going to lose the Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, there was probably a meeting where they sat around and said, "Look, Stan's getting old. He's almost done living.
He's almost done with all his living.
He's almost done with all of his life.
So we need to look for someone else that we can kind of start making funny cameos with. Who's a great cameo character in the Marvel Universe? And they probably first said Deadpool, and then they said we don't own him. And then they went, well, Howard the Duck.
They might have actually asked Stan. He might have said, like, oh, Howard the Duck would be kind of fun. Like
Howard the Duck. I like how you have that New York accent with Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck.
Oh, Howard the Duck's cool.
Howard the Duck is going to be awesome.
I mean, okay, sure. Like Howard the Duck show up, or to have like Thanos lay waste to the planet Earth and then have like this 10-second scene where Howard the Duck is like, wow, I didn't see that coming, or something like that. Some goofy line. That would be cool. All right, that'd just be comedic relief. But I don't want to see Howard the Duck anything more than like 30 seconds in any given film at any particular point.
That's what Stan Lee is. Stan Lee doesn't never normally exceed 10 seconds.
Yeah, but the fact that Kevin Feige is saying like he's going to be in Avengers 3, I mean, to say like he's going to be in this movie instead of saying he's just going to have cameos and all these.
What would you do
universe?
If in Avengers 3 they're losing to Thanos and then Howard the Duck shows up and saves it?
I'm going to sit there. I'm going to say, how in God's name is that possibly going to happen?
Rob is going to be like, I'm done watching the Marvel Cinematic
I give up.
Universe.
Marvel's over. Time to go to DC.
Yep. I swear to God, if that happens, if like Howard the Duck just jumps in and like punches Thanos and it's just long enough to distract him or something, and then like the superheroes come back and win, I'm going to be like, okay. Like, I'm done with the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I got a better one for you. I got a better
They
one.
won't do that.
What if we discover Howard the Duck was in the cocoon and that's our Adam Warlock?
And Rob will die. He'll be done with life.
We don't have the real Adam Warlock.
It was so
wrong. We're just going to call him Adam Warlock.
I'd be so mad. I'd be so pissed. Like, I would be like, this is... Like I'd probably throw my drink at the movie screen, scream boo, and walk out of the theater. I'd be so upset.
You're just gonna have him in like a white robe, like leading people through the desert.
Oh, dude, yelling at stones, yelling at rocks. Like I would come back and probably go on like a 30-minute rant on my YouTube channel, just like yelling at Marvel. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, in what universe would anybody believe that this would be a good idea, you know, and just like...
For all we know, Marvel's going to start having the Microsoft syndrome, where when they came out with Xbox One, Microsoft was like, you all love Xbox, right? We're unstoppable. So yeah, we're not going to let you do used games. We're going to do crazy DRMs. We're going to everything you do.
God.
And then, you know, Xbox One came out, and now they're behind Wii U. But that's besides the point.
Dude, that's to sidetrack.
Like, we can do Howard the Duck as Adam Warlock. It'll work.
Yeah. Dude, like, to sidetrack for a second from like comic books in general, like that's the one reason I never bought an Xbox One, and it's the reason why I never will.
I'm trading mine in. On a side note, we have an Xbox One on a PS4, and we play that PS4 so much, and the only exclusives on the Xbox that we care about is Halo 5, which is like a year and a half out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We are literally going to go trade in that Xbox One to get another PS4 so that we can do fire teams on Destiny.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But this guy's Jeff Carter said Warlock the Duck.
Warlock
the Duck.
I like that.
Warlock the Duck.
Okay. So with Guardians of the Galaxy,
hold on. I'm moving to another topic. I'll keep us rolling with this Guardians stuff.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, let's transition to.
Yeah, let's get out of Howard the Duck now. Okay, so the next question is, I want your guys' opinions on how do you feel about them hiding Star-Lord's dad so much and implying that it's an ancient race that no one's seen in a while.
Don't.
Because if he's the king of Spartox.
Yeah, they're gonna drop that.
You think they're not gonna do it?
Yeah, no. Marvel said that they're. Huh? Go ahead.
There's no element gun. The element gun was replaced by a tape.
That's what I was so upset about. Is there was no element gun. I was like, come on, like where's the element gun?
Man,
but
you guys are getting way too caught up with all this Fringe stuff that they could by all means do in the future.
Well, and Dave's right, and that's what I was going to say about the element gun. You guys are getting all caught up in the element gun and stuff like that, but at the same time, we also need to not have super complicated stuff. Making Star-Lord have the element gun linked to his dad dropped him off, that complicates the story. But if we find out his dad, and this is where my question is, think about it this way. What in an uncomplicated manner could we say is his dad?
Well, that's what Marvel's saying. Like, they're saying that his dad in the movie is not going to be the same as it was in the comics.
Yeah, it's not Jason.
Yeah.
So
the question is, like, who is it going to be? And
they could easily shoehorn other characters like Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock. They could do a multitude of any other character and say.
Listen, what if Adam Warlock was his dad? What if Thanos was his dad? Because they've implied that he's of a race that can handle the Infinity Gems. He's not that race in the comics.
Yeah, no.
Oh, somebody asked if they missed a Beta Ray Bill discussion, so we'll have to talk about Beta Ray Bill here in a little bit. But
you did not show up.
Do what?
Did he show up?
Yeah.
Where? No. Okay.
Beta Ray Bill.
Where was that Easter egg? Because I definitely missed.
Beta Ray Bill. Beta Ray Bill's Easter egg. When you first walk into, this is how I know that Howard the Duck is an Adam Warlock. When you first, when they first go to the Watcher's cell, or I'm sorry, to his not the Watcher, the Collector's hangout.
Yeah.
Like they first go in there, like there's like this great big huge like 100 and I don't know, maybe like 90-degree turn or whatever it is. But there's a turn, and there's like this great big huge room out on the side. and then as the watcher is like walking towards them, like up above, there is a character standing in a giant cage. There's a hammer sitting on the ground, and he's wearing a red cape. And then you actually see Howard the Duck leaning up against his cage, like leaning like, up against the wall inside of his thing. Now, like it's like Marvel's not. I mean, there's not giant purple letters sitting over Beta Ray Bill's cage saying this is Beta Ray Bill. But the fact that there's like a hammer-looking weapon and a guy in a red cape standing there indicates that it's probably Beta Ray Bill. So, which is cool because Beta Ray Bill's badass. So
yeah,
I'm
he
pretty
is.
excited
But how would
that.
they explain that?
I doubt we'll actually even see Beta Ray Bill in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're just like,
this
hey,
is what
Beta Ray
I
Bill
think
is-
Beta Ray Bill
imagine.
is too comical to just bring into the universe.
I don't think he's too comical, but I mean, if you want to bring Beta Ray Bill into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you've got to break down a fight between him and Thor. You've got to talk about Thor's alter ego, Donald Blake. You've got to talk about
That's what I mean, like,
creating Stormbreaker.
and there you go.
All
See?
kinds of stuff. Yeah, it gets too complicated.
Yeah.
That's why I wouldn't be upset if there was no Beta Ray Bill, because I mean, all Beta Ray Bill would do is establish that other people besides Thor can wield his hammer, but Captain America can do that later on. So it's
this is what I imagine Marvel doing with all these fringe characters that they're kind of hinting at. Yeah. We're gonna have eventually in either Avengers 2 or the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie or Avengers 3. That there's going to be like some giant like space battle that involves all of the Marvel universe making a last stand, and they're going to have all of these characters in an army that mounts to face this thing.
So
and
it's
they
just going to
might
be a game of us all sitting there pausing the scene going, Beta Ray Bill, Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to happen when the Blu-ray comes
Nebula.
out. Yeah, when the Blu-ray comes out, I know I will. Like, I'm going to pause that and be like, all right. Like I'm gonna lean up against my chair, like crack my knuckles, and be like, "Let's see."
Yeah.
Oh,
I think we need to assume everything that's being hinted at, unless it's a post-credit scene, is just potentially an Easter egg, and that's the extent of it.
Oh yeah. I guarantee that's all it is just an Easter egg, and I'm not surprised that that's all it is just an Easter egg, because again,
it's not like.
Yeah, I mean, Beta Ray Bill is a cool character, but yeah, like all Beta Ray Bill does again is just tell us that.
What would you do if tomorrow they're like Beta Ray Bill movie 2015?
Oh, I would freak. I would freak. I'd be like, yeah. I want to see some Corbinites.
I would see that. I mean, I wouldn't freak out, but I'd be like, that's cool. I'm going.
Yeah.
I trust them. They know what they're doing.
I would see any movie that Marvel puts out at this point at least once.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they can't put like 20 movies out a year and have everybody go to watch them. So they've got to set up their storylines and pick their important characters to feature in movies.
Yeah.
They can't make a Howard the Duck movie and a Beta Ray Bill movie and an Adam Warlock movie.
They're rich. They could make them all if they really wanted to.
But
they wouldn't make money, and nobody's going to like come out and say, "Oh, Disney is going to make this movie that they're going to spend $170 million on, and it's only going to make 90." They're not going to do that.
I mean,
because nobody's going to go and see a banner for Marvel's Beta Ray Bill, and they don't know who Beta Ray Bill is.
I'm going to build off of what Gabriel says in the chat and like not necessarily what he suggested, where he's like they should do an MCU animated series that like actually follows the canon. But they should do like what they did at DC with the DCU animated canon universe, where they kind of like play with the universe a little bit, but like make it in canon and like throw us Easter eggs and stuff. Like you could have like in Justice League Unlimited, they had like the cowboy guy and like the knight guy. They had their own episode. Like you have a Booster Gold episode in that show. Like they need to do like that. They need to get. And they had it with Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and they ruined it when they canceled all those shows and replaced them with crappy shows. But like, they need to have either direct-to-DVD animated shows or animated movies that follow the canon that are set in the same universe, or a good comprehensive cartoon like Marvel show.
Well, it's the same problem DC's having. They're all imply that they're in the same universe, but they're not at the same time. DC's doing the same crap with all their stuff, Oh, Arrow and Flash are in the same universe, but are they really?
Well, yeah, and they're not in the movie universe. They're only in their show universe. And like even with the direct to DVD movies, like after Justice League War or whatever, like after the dumb New 52 reboot movie, like the movies they're making after that are in that universe or in that continuity. So like that's what Marvel should be doing.
Well, and they kind of have with like Avengers Confidential.
Yeah, but those
kind of did.
There's two of them, and one of them sucks. Like
Avengers Confidential was absolute crap. Like I hated
the Black Widow Punisher one was good.
No, I liked. So. I enjoyed it. It was it screamed anime to me, and I don't. By the way, not like I hate anime. I'm just saying like
you hate anime.
Yeah, exactly. Crucify me on the internet, but like, I felt like no, like the Avengers Confidential, like Black Widow Punisher was cool. It had like peripheral characters that you would never expect to see in a movie like that or in a Marvel movie. But it also was very like, it was that studio. Like that Japanese studio made that movie and they told it the way they wanted to tell it. We need like a guy who's in charge, who isn't the guy in charge of Marvel TV right now who's awful. Jeff Loeb. Like someone who's not Jeff Loeb. Somebody like Slott or somebody like Remender.
No, I agree because we could fully explore all of these other characters in the cartoon series. Easily.
You could do a Howard the Duck animated movie.
We could incorporate Spider-Man into the universe. Because they have the animated rights.
Oh my God! You know what?
I really disagree.
Like people are driving me nuts talking about let's bring Spider-Man into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Why not?
Why?
Because Spider-Man is the most overrated character in the history of comic book characters.
But he needs to be there.
Spider-Man shoots webbing out of his hands or out of his wrists. All right, he swings from object to object, and he can punch really hard. Like Spider-Man is a criminally overrated character.
Oh no, yes, so is Wolverine. I'm not denying that at all.
Like, I don't think he's that great of a character.
I don't really think he's... I mean, he has important storylines because Marvel knows he's popular, but at the same time, his power set, like, he goes and he fights with the Avengers and out in outer space, and he's in all sorts of, like, Marvel events where he's way outclassed.
Yeah.
Like,
this is why. Because every time we see Avengers, who's on the same merchandising block?
Who's in the front?
I mean, for the most part, anytime you see Marvel, you'll see. I mean, Spider-Man's the face of Marvel, which I understand. I mean, Spider-Man is a legacy character. He revamped the concept of superheroes in comic books, and that much I get. But for me, like, I just don't think Spider-Man's that great.
By the way, he's kind of like the story so far. Just so everyone knows,
he's kind of like Batman in a way because Batman doesn't have superpowers, but he manages to pull off some crazy amazing thing that saves everybody sometimes. Like
I don't know.
No other ads at the minute.
Like this guy Christopher's like F you, Rob. Spider-Man is awesome. No, he's not. No,
F you, Rob. Spider-Man's awesome.
I'm not saying that he's a bad character. I read Spider-Man.
Look at this. Look at this merchandising right here. Avengers, Iron Man, and a Spider-Man backpack.
I'm not saying Spider-Man's not popular. I'm saying in the grand scheme of superheroes that we've seen, Spider-Man's just not that great. He's really agile and he's strong. And
Rob, I believe this is the end of our friendship, and we are done. So, Sal, let's go make the weekly poll podcast too. We'll
call it the Spider Poll.
I'm gonna go take a nap.
All Spider-Man all the time.
Exactly.
But no, I mean,
speaking of that, next week we need to discuss Spider-Verse. So Rob, go buy some freaking Spider-Man comics.
I mean, I'll read Spider-Man if you guys really want me to.
Spider-Verse.
I'm not that big on Spider-Man.
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse. I don't read Spider-Man or anything. I don't really even have anything to like. It's like Wolverine. Like I usually never read Wolverine.
I read Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man.
Rob will not be here next week, everyone. It'll be David and Sal discussing Spider-Verse.
I mean, most of my comic book reading involves, well, right now it involves the Century, which I love Robert Reynolds' character. The Paul Jenkins J. Lee run of Marvel Knights Century Volume 1 is amazing. Well, hold on, why am I getting the shaking head? So.
You think that Spider-Man is overrated, but the Sentry is a cool character.
And this goes.
Man.
Hold on. We got Rob's viewers here, and I'll even ask them, Rob. Rob came to me the other day, and Rob was like, "What should I do next?" And I'm like, "Rob, maybe you should stop doing the obscure characters like Howard the Duck."
Okay, Rob. So I'm gonna set something up for you that might convince you otherwise.
Okay.
I just read Secret Invasion.
Okay.
And pretty much the Skrull's solution to taking out the Sentry was basically manipulating his crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, they literally just said, hey, the Skrulls are all here invading Earth because you kind of wished it. And he doesn't even have that power. Like he doesn't have the power to wish things into existence, but he was like, oh god, I'm crazy. I gotta go, like, oh no, it's all my fault. And then he goes away.
Actually, he kind of does.
Rob, I figured you out.
What?
I figured Rob out, guys. You are a comic book hipster. If a character is popular, you don't like them.
No.
If they're obscure, you love them.
No. There are a lot of popular characters that I love. Like,
you just announced Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Batman in a 5-minute discussion.
Yeah, but I love the character of the Incredible Hulk.
It's cool. Can you show up in a flannel outfit next week that says Ghost Century?
We can prove this theory very easily. Watch this. Who is a more interesting character?
See, they're calling you a Marvel hipster before the thing catches up.
Whatever. Okay, what did you say, Sal?
Oh, who's a more interesting character, Black Bolt or Wolverine?
Nobody's gonna say it, but he knows the answer. No, Black Bolt is not.
Who is more interesting? Who is a cooler character?
Black Bolt. Because he can never talk.
He's not.
Because he can never talk.
He is boring as crap.
No,
he is. That's why he's boring, Rob. Just because a character has a cool complex does not make him interesting.
And I was just kidding. Like, the reality is, like, it's up to you. Like, it's all your opinion. Like, so that's fair.
The chat is blowing up about how you don't like Wolverine and Spider-Man, Rob.
Wolverine. Okay. You know, here's Wolverine.
All of your viewers are turning on you.
Here's Marvel's Wolverine in like 2 sentences. All right. I'm Wolverine. I don't know why I'm here. I'm gonna kill people. That's Wolverine in every story ever in the history of Marvel Comics.
Spider-Man's almost the exact same thing. I'm Spider-Man. I don't know why I'm here.
Yeah, that's it, man. Like Wolverine is just Wolverine's a pointless character. Like, he's just not at all important. Wolverine was best during Claremont's run. And
Christopher Fry said, and you don't read DC. Case closed. You're a hipster.
No, like the best Wolverine that had ever been seen is one, Old Man Logan, which is pretty good in terms of like some of the stories. Like, I've read a few of Old Man Logan, and two,
Logan's horrible.
And two, like Chris Claremont's run of the X-Men. Like, that's when Wolverine was interesting the most.
Well, let me ask you this. If next year you hear that a Sentry movie is coming out, will you still back Sentry?
Yes. because Robert Reynolds, and we'll talk about this when we do our video on the Sentry. Robert Reynolds is interesting. All right, Robert Reynolds is he's crazy and he's a schizophrenic. Like, he can't differentiate between what's real and what's not, and he's got multiple personalities. The Void is this super stupid powerful character that fought off a full contingent of the Avengers, the Inhumans, the Fantastic Four, and the X-Men at the same time. Like, it took Emma Frost convincing Robert Reynolds, who had retreated into his own mind, that the Void was his creation in order to stop it. Like, he's a really cool character, and I love that element that you've got a guy, and no one knows whether he's sane or not, who has this just crazy amount of power in Marvel Comics. Like, that's why I love his character.
They're calling you a name-dropping hipster right now. For the record, I'm supposed to be the guy that reels us back into the Guardians of the Galaxy comic, but I am all for calling Rob a hipster and all of us bashing him.
Everybody is calling me a hipster, man.
So I was actually thinking for versus you guys doing the Sentry versus Superman, because I knew the Sentry was totally strong enough.
That's fine, but it'd be a very hipster fight.
It would be. I used to read the Sentry back before he was but no, like in all seriousness though, like go and read Marvel Knights from the year 2000. Read Marvel Knights, Paul Jenkins, Jay Lee's run of the Sentry. It's a 5-issue self-contained story. It introduces and closes out the Sentry, which they obviously bring him back in New Avengers, but it's one of the best stories you're ever going to read in Marvel. Like, it's such a good series of books. But, yeah, Franklin Richards would absolutely destroy the Void. That's true. But
I don't know who either one of them are. Okay.
but nonetheless, yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah. It's okay, Rob. I've been called a bandwagoner because I made a when I first launched the channel and I was mimicking the Eligible Monster program lineup of top 6s and stuff like that. Yeah. I did a top 6 things I didn't know about the X-Men when Days of Future Past came out, and I learned quite a few interesting things because I don't look up random obscure facts about the X-Men. Yeah. And like half of the comments are, I already knew all this. You're just a bandwagoner because the movie came out. I've been reading X-Men probably when you were still in diapers, but hey, whatever. You know,
whatever, man.
Reading X-Men does not tell me that mutant is an actual race for the toy's sake. And
Like I know enough about X-Men to know that Jubilee was created 2 years before the animated series came out.
Yeah.
So, just
exactly.
saying. You know,
I know enough about X-Men to know that Morph is not in the comics. So
that's actually what is his name, man? The guy that can copy like when he first shows up. When they first introduced him, he had the feet of Beast. He had the wings of Angel, the eyes of Cyclops.
Yeah, that's Mimic.
Mimic. There we go. Yes, Mimic. That was like the stand-in for Morph and
He sucks.
animated series. He does suck, man. Like he's an awful
He died.
character.
Then like they never brought him back. I think he showed up in like Exiles.
Yeah, he was a terrible character.
there is a lot of X-Men who just randomly pop up. Like, look, this one can pee lemonade. Try it.
I mean, there's some characters that are like super powerful, but they never really use them that much. Like Elixir. Like Elixir was cool because he could heal people and heal himself, and he could like adjust the molecules in his body. But like aside from that, like there comes a point where he makes himself gold, and it's like okay.
There was
I mean,
there was an X-Man who
could be gold.
There was an X-Man who could learn languages.
Oh yeah, there's one that could like understand any language.
There was one also that could just make fake gold balls. Like out of his body.
Could go in a totally different direction.
Fake.
we have like we're totally off on tangents of like.
Okay, but no, I was gonna say we've been going for a little while now. I've actually got to get running in about 10 minutes, so.
Okay, let's wrap it up.
Well, I guess we're going on without Benny.
Yeah.
Are we already at? I've got an hour and 45 minutes, Rob. Even taking out our 20-minute verses.
Yeah, we've been going for a while. Okay, so then I guess we'll do Inhumans next week. But nonetheless, I thought Guardians of the Galaxy for a movie that was based on a Marvel characters, a Marvel group, takes place within the Marvel universe, was a great movie because it didn't feel like a Marvel film. And I also thought it was really good because what it does is it takes all the events that have taken place on planet Earth and it compares them to like all these interstellar events going on, and you're like, who cares about S.H.I.E.L.D.? Like, who cares about what's going on planet Earth? So
that's
I thought
exactly what
cool.
happens in the comics when you're dealing with like
a
universal scale event. They like the humans end up whining about all this stuff that's happened to them, and they're like, "That's nothing."
No idea.
Like you have no idea. We've had like 6 planets get blown up in the last month.
Yeah.
This is very true. And we have incursions happening every day. One of Sal's most favorite events ever. I just saw your back issues. That's why I've been picking on you.
Thank you for watching. Yeah, because we talk about Infinity Gauntlet, and I talk for like 15 minutes about the incursions because like Cap destroys the Infinity Gauntlet to try and put them away. Yeah,
I mean, that's something that I'm really looking forward to, is seeing like the whole Infinity Gauntlet storyline taking place and whatnot. But But no, like I said, I thought it was a great film. It was a great film that you could go into knowing nothing about any characters, knowing nothing about any of these individuals, and still have like the time of your life watching like a really fun, hilarious film, which I really enjoyed.
Agreed. Yeah.
No, I loved it for that. I think there was only one moment in the entire movie that I was just kind of like, all right, can we get to the next scene of something? Because what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool. The way they
overall, I loved every minute of it. I had no issues, no complaints. The movie was great. I liked it more than Turtles. Turtles, every time Megan Fox talked, I was like, Uncle Turtles!
I haven't seen Turtles yet.
You guys all gotta go see Turtles so we can talk about it next week.
Man.
You have to. I'm sorry, Rob.
I'm not gonna spend money seeing that movie.
It's not that bad. You just close your eyes when Megan Fox talks.
I'll buy it when it's $5 on Blu-ray, but until then.
Yes, I'll purchase the movie.
I enjoyed it. Am I the only? And I'm not the only one, by the way. Every other 5-year-old in this world loved that.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Like, Ninja Turtles have always been kind of fun to me, but like Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze, as far as I'm concerned, is the best it'll ever be. Like,
you're right.
It'll never be that good again.
The new one doesn't.
Hold on, wait.
Have you seen it?
Sal is shaking his head.
Have you seen it? Like within the last 20 years? Because I saw it last year, and it's friggin' horrible.
No, under no circumstances is Secrets
of
the Ooze bad.
It is horrible.
No, sir.
They can't use their weapons. They don't have Bebop Rocksteady. It's rip-off lame characters. Kino is the main character. They replaced the good April. There's no Casey Jones. They defeat Shredder with a guitar. that's so lame.
Yes, but it has super
Yeah,
shred.
He's there for a half second and then he kills himself.
Look,
You
I'm
have
gonna put
what
this out there, but has anyone...
call nostalgia goggles.
Yeah, Rob.
By the way, that said, Ninja Turtles 1 is the tits.
No, sir. No, sir. Ninja Turtles 1
Has anyone
was
seen
not.
the Ninja Turtles cartoon where the new anime Ninja Turtles met up with the 1980s Ninja Turtles and the original? It is a great show.
Well, it is mind-bending.
It is, because they meet up with the original Turtles and they act just like the original Turtles, and the new anime Turtles are like, what are these guys doing? Why do they care so much about pizza?
Yep, it is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
This guy, Havoc Cyclops, is spamming the chat saying that Loki is Star-Lord's dad. I'll be so pissed if that turns out to be the case.
I would be okay with
Such an easy way out. It's such a cop-out. Like,
It would be a wraparound, though.
we'll just make Loki the dad.
I thought the end, the way they wrapped it up with I forget his name, the blue guy that controls the arrow. Yondu. He was like, "Oh, it's a good thing we didn't bring him to his dad."
Yeah.
Like
good thing we didn't take him to Loki.
No, liked it's a good thing we didn't take him to his dad. That guy's a dick.
Yeah.
By the way, Yondu was cool. Just going to go on record. Yondu grew up. Yondu was awesome.
But he was a great character. Yeah, he's always been a great character.
I hear they changed
I
him
need
up
this.
a lot, and
I just found a Rocket Raccoon and Groot statue.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I saw somebody on Etsy was selling a Groot that you put in a pot, like where it's like little dancing Groot.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He doesn't move, but you put him in a pot and there he is.
Oh, dude, they're going to sell like Groot Chia pets.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why aren't they on sale now?
Yeah, I would buy one right now.
I hear the special edition Blu-ray from Amazon when they get the whole pre-order thing with Disney figured out is gonna have a dancing Groot.
Smart.
Okay, well, I think we're about as far off topic as we can get at this point. So
we're talking about Groot.
All right, so to wrap the podcast up, what does everybody have going on in the next couple weeks or so on their channels?
I am launching an amazing story. A story of time travel. A story of Doctor Who. Batman in Time. It comes out like Saturday.
It comes out Saturday.
And I'm also going to do the colors of Hulk. I figured that since the Green Lantern colors are doing so well, I might as well explain why there's 90,000 colors of the Hulk.
God, there are, man. I mean, the three most prominent ones, you got Red Hulk, Gray Hulk, and the Green Hulk. So
Right, right. But then there's also Red She-Hulk, Green She-Hulk. There's also World War Hulk. There's various versions of Hulk. Because apparently, looking this up, each version of Hulk is a shade of green. So there's like light green Hulk, dark green Hulk, forest green Hulk.
Yeah, World War Hulk was just like really pissed off Hulk. Like he stomped on the ground and shook the entire eastern seaboard. Like that was such a cool point. Like there was like the one of the coolest parts in World War Hulk is when the Sentry shows up and like when he takes
Who's
off
that?
to fly
Only
towards
hipster
the
guys
Hulk,
know that guy.
and he says it's time to play God, and I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a cool fight book.
It was a really cool thing.
We didn't get to talk about Yondu, Havoc, Cyclops, so you shut up. What? What are we going to talk about Yondu? He was really cool, he was blue, and I don't know what that weapon was, but it was really nifty with the whistling.
I mean, that was pretty badass. Like, I wish I had one of those.
I am going to do Spider-Verse when that wraps up, Christopher. I'm actually going to be hitting eventually I'm doing Big Time. I'm going to start the Dan Slott run.
Oh, that's awesome.
Over the next month, my plans are to hit up some more Guardians of the Galaxy, but I'm doing Blackest Night, I'm doing The War of the Lanterns, I'm doing Batman, Rest in Peace, Batman in Time, and I'm doing Spider-Man Big Time Onward.
Awesome.
That'll be cool.
Spider-Man Big Time got me back into Spider-Man after I quit from One More Day.
That's what I heard. It got a lot of people back into Spider-Man.
It was good. I have mine. Mine is signed by Stan Lee and Dan Slott. So.
Oh, wow.
So what you got coming up, Benny?
I am Benny. For Sal, you mean?
Oh, Sal.
Dave does not know people's names.
Yeah.
Damn it, Dave.
Haven't we been doing this for 8 months now?
So what I've got going on, as usual, Monday through Wednesday, we have our individual comic book review show, Off the Rack, where we take one book and review it. And of course, the hitch is two of the guys that I work with, Ben and Ethan, don't normally read comics, so they give their kind of outsiders, non-comic readers perspective. And Off the Rack is cool because we also judge the book based on just the content between the covers. We try not to like tie it in. We want to see like if this would be one comic we just grab off the rack and we read it, would it be enough to get us to read more? Is it a good comic on its own? So that's the idea of Off the Rack. We do that Monday through Wednesday. Thursdays, of course, is back issues. We just did a poll where we had the reader or the viewers decide what book we were going to do, and our options were Siege, Secret War, not Secret Wars, but Secret War, and JLA versus Avengers. And it looks like Siege won by 1 vote.
Wow.
I don't like that. I voted.
Wow.
You did vote.
Siege was a great story, though.
Siege was cool, so I'm happy to talk about it. So this week, which is today, we will be shooting the new back issues, which will have the fan-generated book that we're going to review. And Monday, and then usually Wednesday through Friday, I put out another show called Tangents, where it's like all the stuff we did in this podcast, but I rip them from back issues, just to keep the length and back issues kind of manageable, while also not losing these amazing like tangents that go off the rails.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing weekly, 5 days a week. We have new content.
Nice.
Wait, before Rob goes into his, I want to state one thing. Everyone's like, oh, you guys need to reschedule. For the record, I'm the scapegoat. We go for 2 hours, and I just conveniently have to go, guys.
I mean, like, we would love to go on for hours and hours.
We have sat down and discussed, should we make 4 or 5 hour podcasts? Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, it just gets into everyone's way that way.
Yeah. Yeah, like, it'd be awesome to do.
Including the viewers. The viewers don't want to sit there for 4 hours.
Including the viewers, yeah. We have 50 of you, and we had 80 a half hour ago.
Yeah.
I know a few of you guys want us to just go endlessly, but the fact of the matter is 2 hours is a good stopping point, because at this point, we've either gone a completely wild tangent, or we've beaten a topic to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it leaves room for a discussion next time around, too, so.
The 4 of us are going to talk after we get done.
Yeah. But
the only way we could do 4 hours is if we did the Q&A thing like we did last time.
Oh, which we need to do again. That was amazing.
We should do that again.
Yeah.
Totally.
That was good.
Anyway, Rob?
Didn't we say like every other week we were going to do that?
I thought we were trying to do it once a month.
Yeah, like
once
a month. Yeah, keep that in mind, guys. Like once a month. That'll probably be like the last Thursday every month.
It'll probably be the week that none of us thought of a topic.
Probably, yeah. Like we'll just do like a live Q&A session where you guys can ask questions and we'll answer them. So, but yeah. So the Century will be coming out on Monday. We're gonna have that video finished by then, or at least we should. After that, we'll be doing William Stryker. After William Stryker, we'll get into Jean Grey, which I know a lot of you guys have been asking about Jean Grey. We'll get into like a lot of the characters from the X-Men, so like Gambit, stuff like that. Like we'll get into a lot of those characters that you guys have been like screaming at me about wanting. Somebody wanted, like, actually I think I've had a few people that have wanted me to do the One Above All. So I mean, he appears in like 15 comics. Like, hey guys, there's this like god of the Marvel universe. Sometimes it's Jack Kirby. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Rob, I have a formal request that you're the obscure guy, and I can't even get information on this guy.
What?
I want a full explanation of what the Builders are.
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you something. If you didn't learn about the Builders in the Infinity in Infinity, then you're not going to know, because that's as far as I know, that's the only time the Builders are ever referenced or.
No.
Yeah, Hickman invented them. They don't. They've
been around since the new Marvel Now Avengers 1. They were the first villain to be introduced.
Really?
So explain them, Rob. Explain them.
Oh, man, I'll try.
They're the primary villain of the current Avengers run.
I mean,
I've been trying to figure them out, and I'm like, how are they different from the Celestials? Aren't they the same freaking thing?
But I mean, they are obscure as hell.
Fine, explain the Celestials.
The Celestials were the ones that created mutants and so on and so forth. So
it was weird because it was like, if you're gonna do a universe-changing character, like, why not just use the Celestials?
Yeah.
Like, why do you gotta invent something new? Like,
especially that is literally the same as the Celestials.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I like Hickman's run of the Fantastic Four, like Future Foundation, like the Mad Celestials show up, and they merge themselves in like one big mega celestial and like almost destroy Galactus. So,
and I'll form the cock. What?
By the way, I am planning on within the next couple of months getting that run now. After you've talked about it a couple times.
Which one?
Nice.
FF. Future Foundation.
Oh yeah, Future Foundation is so good, dude. Hickman's run in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
it's probably the best Fantastic Four run.
It's in the Hickman omnibus for Fantastic Four. There's 2 volumes, and
yeah, for those of you guys,
I figure that's going to be a great run to get into the Fantastic Four with. So.
Yeah, for those of you guys who are in the chat, like there are a handful of writers that are always amazing when it comes to Marvel Comics. Like Paul Jenkins is good at pretty much everything. Paul Jenkins' involvement in Marvel Knights. So 1998 Inhumans, The Sentry, those are some of the awesome, some of the best stories you're ever going to read. Hickman's entire run of the Fantastic Four is incredible. I mean, there's some really, really good writers out there.
I'm really sad that they're getting rid of the Fantastic. They're shuffling them to the wayside now.
They are, man.
They really shouldn't.
I've heard Marvel's doing that because of the whole Fox rights and all that kind of stuff. But
Yep, that's it.
So, Dave, do you have anything coming out this week? I know you just get back in your feed.
I just gotta finish up the videos. I've decided to do all 7 parts of my my Civil War at once. So I'm in the middle of editing and putting motion graphics together and everything for that. So today, I'm gonna have 1 to 2 videos out, or tomorrow morning, I'm gonna have 1 to 2 videos. So,
nice.
I know I give you a hard time. It's just
that
because we
is
love
coming.
you,
oh, I know. And you try to motivate me, which I appreciate.
Yeah, sure, it's motivation. Okay, so before we close out, though, I have one question now that Sal has moved his head a little. Behind you, there is what appears to be a wooden dildo with the angle that it's currently at. No, there.
Wow.
What is that, Sal?
It's a piece of driftwood that my dad likes. It looks like a natural arch that's formation from Capri, Italy.
Okay. Could the angle that it's at with the way that the camera's on it and everything?
Yeah.
I was like, if that is, we need to discuss with Sal not putting that stuff out in the open.
Yeah, no. Also, wood?
Exactly. I was like, it looks wood.
Splinters.
Yeah, no, it is a piece of driftwood that my dad found, and he was like, "Oh, my dad likes to do this."
No, it looks cool at all. Just I said, from the angle. And once you moved your head, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
No, I'm glad you pointed it out. I'll move that. But no, yeah, my dad and I share an office, so it's just easy.
Oh, okay. I was wondering why all that stuff was back there. I was like, do you have a
it's
big
not my
office
stuff.
My
stuff's that way. I look at it. I can when I look that way, all my stuff's over here.
Okay.
Oh, see,
okay,
this is you're actually in my space. That's my Exotic Candy, my wife's space for working and everything over there.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is the recording TV, which is set up to play the Silent Hill trailer after this.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm really psyched for the new Silent Hill.
Just as I said that.
Yeah,
my girlfriend is not.
Your girlfriend's not excited for the new Silent Hill?
My girlfriend is a huge Silent Hill buff. She loves Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3, and then that is where it stops.
They're bringing back the original Japanese on the new ones.
Oh,
cool.
Really?
It's got Hideo Kojima. He's the director.
Oh, yeah, I had seen that.
It's got Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
And Norman Reedus is the main character.
Yes, that's what I'm the most excited about is Norman Reedus.
Yep.
And those are some big names in movies.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have an hour discussion about Silent Hill, so...
Well, all you guys that wanted a 3-hour podcast, we're going to shift to games real quick.
Shift to video games. All right, guys. Well, I mean, if nobody else has anything going on, then I guess we'll call it a night.
Yeah.
Everyone's yelling at me for am I really the only one who saw that and thought that?
What's wrong with you, Benny? What's your problem?
Oh, I'll also mention really quick. Today, our new back issues is on the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yes.
So. Nice.
And it's really good. And I totally missed out on my Batman in Time video, but it's going to be better now because I'm going to do Doctor Who theme songs.
Yeah, I need to make sure I check that out. But.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and bring it to an end. So.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And I don't know why I'm not the one that has to turn everything off. So.
We'll catch you guys later. Peace.
See you.
All right.
Did you see them? They were all yelling at me because they're like, Benny always has to go. You guys need to reschedule to do it without him. I'm like, it's been 2 hours.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I mean, we get off on tangents and we lose track of time, and then it just...
Right, I mean, I could go...
It just devolves into just garbage.
Yeah. I could easily reschedule a bunch of stuff if we wanted to really do 4-hour podcast, but I'm like, we have to take like a lunch break and crap.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, like... I normally get up and I take my shower and I get ready and then I have like a snack.
Yeah, well, that's all I've had too. Like,